our daily success power up, something, whatever we call this. I am John Lavinia. I am your host, as always. And right now it's Tuesday, the 6th of July, 2021. We are now 6 days in to the third quarter of 2021. Exciting, right? It's almost one weekend. So we can look back and we can say our first week of the third quarter was this. Now, for some of you who are just getting started, this is a whole new world that you just entered. Okay. And we got to hear from Clara a little bit. Good to see Clara there just before we went live, talking about some of the technical hurdles, right? Some of the curveballs that these big tech platforms like to throw at you. By the way, that's not just here. That's not just in the e-commerce world. Right now, you're dealing with Amazon and Etsy and various platforms, okay, and technology. In the space that I've spent a lot of time in, with online marketing and communications and email marketing and all this sort of thing, advertising, there's lots of curveballs that they throw at you, right? Arbitrary controls on what you can and cannot say to cause your audience to click or to want to participate or get the free download or opt into the mailing list, right? Lots of rules that you didn't ask for. Okay, but as we talked about a couple of days ago, you pick your problems, right? Guess what? All the problems that we don't have because we're here doing the e-commerce thing, right? Here's all the problems that we don't have. Hey, William, I see your puppy. Good to see you guys. I'll mute your microphones. So we're all set.
Thank you, Mike. It's all
right. So, so you pick your problems, right? But where my brain was going with this today is that there are ways to minimize the problems and to accelerate our accomplishment of what we want, which I think is why we're all here, right? If you wanted to go it alone, like truly alone, here's the internet. Right? You've got some sort of a device that connects to the internet. There you go. That's all your training, right? Good luck. Obviously, right? We're not looking to pioneer this. This is not something where I need to be, the one swinging the machete through the underbrush to carve the trail. We're very fortunate in the way that we've had, people who walked the path before we did to great consequence, by the way, right? I mean, look at the stats, right? Look at the fruit on the tree. There's that saying, by their fruits, you'll know them, right? So you can be a fruit inspector and you could say, oh, wow, that's a nice fruit right there. And all of you did to whatever degree, right? Or you wouldn't be here, right? If it wasn't evident to you, to whatever degree it needed to be evident for you to see the reality of, oh my goodness, people are making millions online every day. You can get a piece of that pie, right? Would you like to save some time? Well, fantastic, right? Here, let's learn some stuff. Isn't that what this is all about? Because look, I believe anybody can make $1 million. The only question is, how long does that take? A lifetime? No, that's not so good. A couple of years, wow, that's better. Some people make that in a day, right? I'm not there yet. Still working on it. So okay, can we accelerate the process? Hence, this whole, as you guys are getting started, and some of you have been through this accelerator, we actually call it the accelerator process, which gives you a look behind the curtain at what we do with our advanced members and people that are going really fast, like really hitting this hard. Okay. And so you can actually accelerate even further, right? There are gradient higher levels that you can participate in and execute and have more of an effect in less time. That's what I'm talking about. Having a bigger impact in less time, which is one of the first things I had to learn how to do when I was becoming successful as an entrepreneur, was reduce the amount of time it takes to get stuff done. There's my favorite 4-letter word, done. How fast can we get stuff done and not stand on ceremony and not sit here in a state of chronic indecision, procrastination, perfectionism, use whatever justifiers you'd like, okay, for the not done condition, right? Imperfect and done beats perfect and not done, okay? And that doesn't mean that it's going to be, that we can't optimize later. Of course we can. Of course we can optimize, right? But you can't steer a parked car, right? If you're just getting ready to get ready, well, how much time you got? And look, here's the thing. Most people piss away time like they're immortal in a state of chronic indecision. And how do I know that? I've done it, right? So I'm not giving you theory, right? I'm sharing my experience with you here. And the point is, sometimes mentoring reveals what not to do, what not to do. I've had many mentors in my life that didn't know they were, and they very nicely demonstrated to me what not to do. Right? Thank you. Thank you for that example. All right. So consider the examples that we have, right? Which you get through your training, and like the coaching calls with Adam, right? And all the stuff that Rachel puts out. Okay. So consider that, and then consider how vast the opportunity actually is for you to actually reach goals, not just set goals, which is a big step forward for a lot of people, because most people don't have any goals. Confucius say, man who shoots at nothing is sure to hit it. That's most people. Okay. So you've got a reason for being here. Otherwise you'd be watching, Gilligan's Island reruns or whatever right now. Okay. So you've got more purpose. That's awesome. In case it's not already evident, as evidenced by, these calls that we do every day, and the whole accelerator program, and the fact that you've got accountability reps who are feeding you, content that you can go through. By the way, anyone who's mid-process on that, get through that process, right? Make yourself known via that process. For those of you brand new who don't even know what I'm talking about yet. So if we haven't had a welcome session yet with me, I want to do that, because I want to have a little bit of time in a smaller group, right? We've got a bunch of people on here right now. I can't, have every single person share every day we get together, right? So that's why we raise hands and we have a little bit of, banter at the end, which is very nice. I love that, by the way. I love that. But I also want you to know, that you have a voice. You have a voice here. This is not, here's the thing, my friends, this is not you just sitting there taking in, consuming content, okay, training, ideas, talking, you listening, hopefully listening. There's a difference between hearing and listening, right? Did you hear me? Okay, nice. Were you listening? That's a different question. Okay, good. I see your thumbs up there. So it's not just about you overwhelming yourself. Here's the thing, overwhelming yourself with all the inputs that are come at you from multiple directions. Of course, by your choice, a lot of this, right? I want the inputs. I want the training. Nice. Okay. Oh, these technical considerations and the 10 million emails from now I'm on every email list known to man, right? By the way, that's real. Okay. You're on the internet now. So you don't get to go, be Amish, right? You can still be Amish, when you're not on the internet, but now you're going to be impinged upon, right? Continuously via what? The interwebs. That's just how it is. In fact, it's not just like email. Like I get robocalls all the time. I got filters on it now. You guys ever get robocalls? I didn't ask for this. Apparently there are people, I think in China and places who have figured out how to use like auto dialing systems to take local numbers that are almost my phone number, but just like a different, 4 digits at the end, and ring my phone, like my neighbor's calling me or something, right? That's interesting. The Federal Communications Commission is having a ball trying to figure that one out. Okay, so yeah, you're going to get lots of inputs, but the whole point of this is not that you sit here and just be the effect of all the inputs, right? That you get to balance those flows as you go through the accelerator program, for example, right? Here's a series of short videos with Rachel, myself, right? Adam, right? So our staff put this together for you to do a couple of things. One is to show you how we can accelerate the process. Two is to get you oriented to the community, because you're not in this alone. Whether you thought you were at the outset or not, you're not, okay? And we're extremely interested in you. Why? Why would we be interested in you? You're just somebody who showed up on the internet. Why do we care? Why do you think we care about that? Why do you think I do what I do? Why does Rachel do what she does? Doesn't she make enough money doing her e-commerce thing? Yeah. She makes a lot of money. There's a bigger game afoot. There's purpose behind this. We want your success story. And you've seen a few of them from those who have walked the path before you and who are still on the path and who are scaling up, right? Remember I mentioned mentors that they didn't even know they were my mentors. Whose life will you affect when you lift yourself up by your bootstraps and demonstrate, oh, look, I just doubled, tripled my income, or whatever the result is that you're here for, right? I've now got my walking papers from that situation that was unsatisfactory, could be a job, whatever, right? Who's looking? Who's looking that you don't even know is looking? And then when you've had that result, right, and you attest to it, right, when you testify, look, here's my results, and then somebody who may not even relate to me or Rachel, right, especially this Italian guy, John, my goodness, this guy's a wacky guy, but now that I saw Clara do it, oh, maybe I can do it too. Inspiration. So there's a bigger game afoot here, right? You have the ability, whether you were intending it or not, you have the ability to inspire people. And look, I don't think we need any more, victims. I think we got plenty of them on planet Earth, right? We have no use for more victims. I think we need some leaders. Will you be that? There's the game. Okay. Via, let's sell some coffee cups and t-shirts. Okay, fine. Okay, there's the Via. Nice. It's a very accessible one. And it's one that has a few complications, right? Here's the Amazon thing. And oh my goodness, they're throwing curveballs. Okay, pick your problems. There's lots more complicated things you can go do. And then once that's handled, it's handled. Okay. But the whole point of this is that you can actually accomplish goals. Imagine that. And I introduced the idea of being a fruit inspector, right? By their fruits, you'll know them. So not all opportunities are created equal. There's a saying, you get what you pay for. Anybody ever heard that? You get what you pay for. Is that real? Is that real for you? Sure. In some areas, I like to buy once and buy right. Buy once, cry once. The sayings, the little, quips, right? So I bought. In fact, this is a. We're going back now a little bit. I decided that when I start making a lot of money, I'm going to get these speakers that I always want. Back in New York City, my uncle has a pair of Bowers and Wilkins 802s. This is, anyone who knows about audiophile, these are handmade in Worthing, England, from John Bowers and Roy Wilkins. And now Bowers and Wilkins is a big, manufacturing company. Okay. But I heard these speakers and I was like, my goodness, that is like high fidelity. That's just my thing. I'm into high fidelity sound. In fact, I think I showed you guys the other day what my workstation looks like. I got studio monitors here, a lighting rig. I got my condenser mic right here where I can record, audiobooks and podcasts and whatever. So when I make a lot of money, I'm going to get those speakers, right? So they're not cheap, in case you're wondering. I think right now they're just for the two main speakers, the floor standing, like the 802s, they're about $15,000 each. Okay. How many people spend 50 grand on a stereo? Well, you're talking to one right now. Okay. But I've had those speakers now for well over a decade. My goodness, got to be going on 20 years. And they're awesome. Still, I bought them once. Do you get what you pay for? Yeah. In that way, you get what you pay for. I suppose I could have thrown, I'm going to probably insult some people now. I probably could have thrown, a mere $10,000 or something at, the top of the line Bose or something. You know what Bose stands for? Better off with something else. So, and if you're offended, you'll get over it. But no, I wanted the Bowers and Wilkins 802s, right? So I spent more money and I got what I wanted. Buy once, cry once. Okay. I'm not crying now. So you get what you pay for. Okay. What about education? Which is what we're doing here, right? Well, the whole point of education, I think, in fact, I'll quote Napoleon Hill. He said, he wrote Think and Grow Rich and, other books, right, back in the early 1900s. And he said, education is not for you to think as you did not previously think. The purpose of education is to cause you to behave in a way that you did not previously behave. So it's not just about, I'm educated, so now I can, parrot off some lofty stuff, right, that I heard the professor say or something, for what it's worth, which isn't much. Okay. It's that I can actually have an effect, not be the effect, right? And as long as I'm taking in, right, inflowing ideas and content, which is valid and good, right? I'm a student here. I'm not a pioneer. I'm a student. That's nice. Okay. But I'm the effect of whatever the professor, the authority, the teacher, Rachel, John, whoever's talking, the author, as I read the book, their cause, I'm effect. And there's a time to be the effect. But the whole point of this is that we balance those flows and we turn it around and we cause something. We are effective, right? Not the effect, but effective. That means we are cause now, and we are outflowing. We are putting stuff out. We are balancing those flows, inflow and outflow, inflow, outflow. Most people consume, right? The average American watches 7 hours of television a day. Consume. Now we got to produce. It's a big shift. It's a big shift, but it's a balancing act that you start to create this balance. Guess what you do? You get more done in less time, right? One of the first things I had to learn how to do. How do you do that? You outflow, you produce, you assign causation to yourself, and you accept the responsibility, which was always yours, by the way. So you're not taking responsibility, you're accepting it. And now you're causing something to occur. And you're doing that more readily and more expeditiously because you did inflow the content, right? Now you know stuff for use. Now you do it. So back to our accelerator process, those of you going through it, which should be everyone, unless you've completed it and you've graduated, and you're still here, by the way, right? So, Kim's graduated, Missy's graduated for, if we call it that, okay, fine. That doesn't mean you go riding off into the sunset and you've arrived or something, right? You're part of the family now, right? So keep showing up. But every module of that, you go watch, you take in 5, 6, 7 minutes worth of content. Here's some ideas. And then what's underneath each video? What do you think? What'd you like about this video? What are your thoughts about that topic right there? Have you ever seen this work in your life? Remember, this is for use. We got you thinking now, at least I'm attempting to get you thinking. How does this apply to me? The end result, the observable phenomenon of you going through training isn't, wow, I'm so impressed with Rachel. That's not the product we're looking for. And you could be impressed or not. That's fine. Okay. But you producing, that's what we're interested in. And you doing it as a person who sees a bigger game here, who can think on a higher level. I have witnessed right before my very eyes transformation right here on these calls, right through the accelerator process. We actually read this stuff, by the way, in case you're wondering. We read every word. Okay. So like, I know who you are. Rachel knows who you are. Our accountability reps know who you are. That's the way it's been designed to do. And part of this, just to let the cat out of the bag a little bit here, part of this is that you stop, if this is your reality right now, is that you stop considering yourself an outsider. You can't be an outsider and be a top producer. Just think about that, right? Here's all those few special people at the top of the mountain. They're so special. They're untouchable, right? Me, I'm a commoner, peasant. You lose, right? So those walls got to come down. So even if you're brand new here, you could, from this moment forward, consider yourself the next top producer. You're the future. You're the future of this deal. I mean, why else did you sign up? Now, some people are here for a little, side income or something. That's fine. That's valid too. That's valid too. If that's your deal, that may not remain your deal, because I could tell you that there are things that I didn't suspect would be as huge as they are in my life when I first confronted them, because you don't know what you don't know, right? And that's okay. I mean, the whole point of you engaging in this is that you know that you don't know. If you already knew, like how to reach your goals, for example, you would have already reached them. I don't know. Well, fantastic. Now we can learn something, right? Surest way to learn nothing is I know. Okay, you know, huh? Good luck. Socrates, who was, purportedly one of the wisest men of his age, said, I know nothing but the fact of my ignorance. So what are you going to do with that? So be a fruit inspector, right? Look at, back to the idea of you get what you pay for. Okay. The fact that you did not pay a lot to be here in this session doesn't mean you have to pay to get tremendous value out of something. And some of you have unsolicited said to me, oh my goodness, I had no idea. I thought I was signing up for an e-commerce, course. And like, look at this, we're meeting every day with an author and, a guy who's made millions, and we get to consult and, counsel with, top earners and Adam. And I got way, way more than my money's worth, so to speak. Okay, that's good. I'm glad you perceive it Okay, now go get a result. Okay, go make money, right? That's the whole point of you being here, is you're going to make money. And we're going to help you do that more readily the more you go through everything that we've laid out for you. All right. This is not an experiment. You did not enroll in the Rachel Ecom experiment that she runs out of her mother's basement or something. No, there's a whole staff of people here, and we are way experienced with helping, in my case, with helping people make a lot of money. E-commerce, I'm not an e-commerce expert. Rachel's an e-commerce expert. You're an e-commerce expert, soon to be. Okay. I'm like the town philosopher here, but I know how to get people moving in the direction that they say they want to go, and how to make principles applicable in life so that we can actually use them. That's what I'm really freaking good at. Okay. Other stuff, don't show me spreadsheets. Not my thing. Okay. So, but great news, right? You do this well, you do like your business well, and you could pay people to do all these other things that you don't want to do. Right. Well, that's fine. Right. So we can get some leverage here. Right. But the point is, you get way more than you pay for when you choose well. And what brought this up for me was, I'm going to have to stop talking here very soon so I can hear from some of you. I had a wonderful welcome session today, which we do multiple times a day with countless students from all over the world, because this is blowing up. And I got to meet a very, very wonderful new member who is about 250 grand, 270. I don't recall the specific number, say $250,000 underwater with student loan debt. $250,000. And they are dissatisfied with their results. They're running multiple locations with the franchise and pulling their hair out, and not the ideal scene. And that cost them $250,000. So do you get what you pay for? Maybe. I really like my Bowers and Wilkins speakers. I intend that you're getting $100,000 worth of coaching for free via these calls. That's what I intend, right? Oh, you put in a couple $1,000 or whatever. That's great. Let's give you $100,000 worth of value. People pay me thousands and thousands of dollars a month, right? For personal coaching and consulting services. I'm not saying that to, oh, look at me, I'm special. I'm just saying that Rachel and this operation here, the intent is to over deliver so abundantly that you just have to succeed. Because again, remember the bigger game. We want your testimony. We want you to be singing the praises and living the life that you've chosen for yourself. So whatever we got to do to load your guns, to completely stack the deck in your favor, completely unfair advantage, totally unfair. That's how we play. Not fair. We play to win. So whatever it takes, that's why we're here. Hopefully that's evident. And if you're brand new here, oh, thank you for the applause. If you're brand new here, there you go. Cynthia likes my Bose acronym. Yeah, better off with something else. Okay, all the Bose fans now, please unmute your microphones and tell me what an idiot I am because you love your Bose. That's fine. Hey, look, I can get enjoyment from a clock radio. The little built-in speakers on the iPhone, I can rock out to that too. Whatever. You got to go spend 50 grand on a stereo? No, you don't. You can do whatever you want. Who's got some thoughts about this? Come on out. We got peoples and animals. We got. Oh, by the way, on Thursday, I'm traveling. So I may have to do like a pre-recorded thing, or maybe you guys are going to like host your own topic discussion or something, because I'm going to be on a plane at this time on Thursday. Just saying. So we'll figure out what we're going to do with that. I know you all miss me terribly. William, sir, do you have a comment?
I have, John. Now, what motivates people making a ton of money to, what is the motivation for people like Rachel and yourself to want to over deliver, as you say?
Okay, great question.
Common grace and just want to help people out? Is it genuine? What's the motivation here?
Well, yes, it's genuine, right? Because I don't think you could fake this. Some people say fake it till you make it. Do you think Rachel's faking it? Do you think I'm faking it? Am I an actor or something? So no, it's definitely genuine. All right. Because we couldn't deliver this much usable content and not have some integrity with that. In fact, the title of my first book, in case you didn't know, integrity is everything. So yes, have integrity. Integrity to what? And here's the answer to your question, William. Integrity to your own self-determined purpose. What is your purpose for showing up, for doing all this? So we've got the means, All right. And we've got the ends, but above all of that, we've got the purpose. Okay. So in my case, and I think I mentioned this once before, maybe a couple of weeks ago, probably before you enrolled, and that is having grown up in a state of deficit where everyone was broke, everyone was miserable, too much month at the end of the money, right? That whole reality, that whole paradigm, really, that whole set of standards, which were very low standards. When I finally, pulled myself up by my bootstraps and started making significant money and became a teacher of others, I realized, and I thought about this for a while, that my purpose for doing all this is bigger than just the money. That it's if I can help as many people as I can in my time on this planet to increase not only their own prosperity but their prosperity consciousness. Well, that's pretty profound, right? So no, this isn't altruism. This isn't charity. No, servant's worth is higher, right? We got courses, we got things you can buy and invest in yourself. Okay, so everybody gets paid. We got a whole staff, big operation here. Okay, but without the purpose, it would be kind of limp, and that's where the quandary of you get what you pay for. Maybe there's plenty of pretenders online. I talked to somebody just the other day. They're trying to launch this coaching business and teach people like they're going to be a life coach or something. And their life doesn't work, man. Like, do you want their advice? Probably not. Okay. But there's enough pretenders online that can just, purport to be some expert, oh my goodness. So choose well. And you did, by the way, William. So glad you're here. Okay. If you want to learn, accessible methods to engage in e-commerce, welcome. You're in the right place.
If I could just say one more thing, the first time I met you last night, what grabbed my attention about you was the fact you said you're working class. You grew up in New Jersey. Well, I knew a guy in New Jersey, but it's not a story. That you're a working class background and you spend a lot of your life being broke. That's pretty much, you're saying my life story, what you're saying.
Okay, well, is there another chapter in that book, William? Let's write it. And when we do write that next chapter, if you can include me in the footnotes. Yeah, there was this wacky Italian guy from New Jersey who taught me this stuff. Yeah, thank you. Give me a little love. By the way, I don't live in New Jersey. I haven't lived in New Jersey for 20-something years.
Believable.
Yeah. Well, I know that you can, William. I'm glad you're here. And thank you for being so engaged. Right, you could be sitting on the outside with your arms folded and like whatever. He's talking to everybody else. He's not talking to me. No, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Right. Well, all right. Let's hear from a few more people. Good to see you, William, with your puppy. We got Cynthia, then Missy, then Leslie. Hey, Cynthia, you're up.
Hello, everybody. John, I just got to say, I'm one of those that you talked about. I spent a good at least almost $80,000 in other coaching that all appeared to be what you're delivering, and none of it came even close. We are so incredibly blessed to be here with you in this organization. I'm just humbled.
Wow, thank you, Cynthia. I'll keep showing up. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for being so, and you're engaged as well. I think we get to see you in the chat every day. Sometimes we get to see you on camera. That's always a treat, but just thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I just want to encourage everyone, you guys, we have the best in this organization. And I can tell you that because I've been looking for this for about 7 years.
All right. Pass the collection basket, everyone. Thank you. All right. What do you think, Missy? Here's Missy.
I think this is in your book, but I could be wrong. Something I read that if you could talk a little bit about it, and just to give you a little personal example, I just finally finished. I was the executrix of my father's estate, and it ended up with an 83-cent mistake. And 3 weeks ago, that would have given me 10 nervous breakdowns that I made this mistake, as if I committed a crime or because I had a family after me and all this. But it was something you said, I think it was your book. You said the people who are extremely successful are able to not make things like that their focus. Now I forgot how it was said. It was something like that's an extraneous thing which used to stop me in my tracks. And if it was, I'm pretty sure it was your book. But they just have this ability. And I believe I saw myself develop it before I came on here, because that's when I discovered it. And I didn't get upset. That's, for me, I mean, for other people, I probably sound like a lunatic, but for me, it was a really big thing, especially what went on with the family and the estate and all that. The estate, it was one little house on Long Island, you know, but they acted like it was Donald Trump's money. But I'm okay. I made an 83-cent mistake, and I don't have to stop for 3 hours and bemoan and beat myself up. And that line in the book helped me very much. So
good. Well, I'm glad. Yeah. Well, and as you know, Missy, in fact, we had a little fun book study group last night. But I often, not often, but every now and then I'll pick up my own book and read it and be like, my goodness, how profound I was when I wrote that, you know, good reminder. I need reminders all the time, you know. So one of the characteristics of genius, by the way, is the ability to differentiate between barriers and distractions. And then, of course, solve the problems, but ignore the distractions. The ability to evaluate the relative importance or non-importance of data, which, by the way, a lot of people can't do, right? A lot of people, they just conflate everything with everything, right? Everything equals everything. No discriminating thought, right? That's not an ingenious approach. Okay, that's kind of a dumbed down approach. So anyway, Missy, you are a genius. In case no one has acknowledged you of that, you definitely know some stuff. All right, good times. Hey, Bianca, I'm going to go ahead and mute your mic. We got a little bit of background noise over there. We're going to go to Leslie and then RSHM iPhone. But before we do that, Leslie, hold the microphone real quick. Lynette has a question. What are the roles of the accountability reps and how to best engage? That's being tweaked as we speak, because we got a lot of breakdowns that seem to be going on. So, but in essence, Lynette, they are there to help you build consistency. And hopefully that's working, you know, hence the term accountability, right? We're going to be held to account ourselves and with the group, and we're going to get consistent with some right action. Okay, so that's the main role of the accountability rep. And some of the mechanics of that need adjustment. All right, so just stay tuned and get with your accountability rep today and say, hey, I need some attention over here. Leslie, you've got the floor. Welcome, Leslie.
Thank you. So I just wanted to say that I too have taken, you know, like Cynthia, I've taken probably $40,000 to $60,000 in different coaching and programs, and they've gotten me a long way. I got a lot of great information and coaching, but my weakness has always been my mornings. I am a night owl. I love to be up at 2 a.m. painting or something. So I'm finding the Miracle Morning. I've started it and it's just really, really useful. I'm still going back and forth. How do you, like, if you're in a hurry, do you cut anything out or do you just cut time down? Or I'm trying to get consistency with it and I'm still going back and forth, but I see the value in it. I think that's where I'm weak at, is my mornings, you know, because then I'll sleep in and then I'm, you know, because I always told myself, well, what does it matter if I'm up from, 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. and, so that's definitely my weak spot. And I see the value because the more I'm doing it, the more I'm getting done, so, but I'm still kind of teetering. So do you have any, like, how long did it take you to get humming on it? Like, is it just, I mean, it's 90 days to create a habit, right? So,
you got it.
But do you have any tips?
Question. You just answered every question within your own question. That's beautiful. All right. So you're reading Miracle Morning?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And how long does it take? 90 days.
90 days. Yeah. I just, I still kind of teeter on it and I'm still having resistance. And I know it's my weak spot. I know if I can get this in place, but I'm feeling this, like, I guess because I identify with being a night owl because I'm a creative, maybe. I don't know what it is, but I'm still resisting it.
Well, what qualifies as morning? I mean, we have people who are nurses that work night shift. Okay, so your morning is 6 p.m. Okay, so whatever the clock says is kind of arbitrary, but because you could set your own barometer, right? All right, so half hour. I'm going to do a half hour earlier, and then so sort of set the stage, right? And that's 5 minutes of quiet meditation or whatever. I'm going to journal. I'm going to exercise. I mean, 1 minute of exercise is infinitely better than 0 minutes. Fantastic,
Okay.
right? High integrity action. And then you can build that up on a gradient. And then you'll find that old habits fall away as new habits replace them. Yes, you do have to get good at saying no. I shall not spend this finite amount of attention and energy on that thing anymore. The opportunity cost is too great. The recompense is too low. I shall now forsake the kitten videos on YouTube, just to give an extreme example, right? I shall forsake that. We'll save that for Saturday night. We can watch all the kitten videos we want. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll find that, because look, it's the same 24 hours that Leslie has, that John has, that Rachel has, that the guy down the street has. Same 24 hours. What's the product? Great question.
I guess like when I get up late, I kind of go, oh, well, I've already botched it. And then I throw it out the window because I got up at 10 instead of 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I wake up like in self-defeat instead of, but I just can't resist the painting videos at night. So,
So you've got to reward yourself with acknowledgement. Leslie, you could speak excellently about yourself in superlatives all day long and still fall short of what you're actually capable of. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's hit the reset button on that. And you see yourself going down that road of, self-deprecation or something, mid-sentence even, right? So you got to observe your thoughts on this. Right? Obviously you can't do this and just kind of float through life. So wow. Okay. I was just about to say, hey, Chris, I'm going to go ahead and mute your mic real quick. I was just about to affirm to myself that I'm such a ne'er-do-well, flunky, whatever the self-deprecating things are. And then you can stop right there and realize, you know what? Hold on a second. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. I may have flunked yesterday, 5 minutes ago. Not now. Okay. And so you could stop yourself mid-sentence. Oh, that was the past. That was 2 seconds ago. Right now, present time. Who am I? Where am I going? All right. And you get a little bit better, 0.5% better. Napoleon Hill, in his classic book, Think and Grow Rich, talked about autosuggestion. Autosuggestion is one of the principles he talked about, right? In fact, he said it was the keystone and the arch of the entire Think and Grow Rich philosophy, that all of the other principles are there to serve that one, autosuggestion. So what is autosuggestion? It's what we tell ourselves about ourselves all day long, whether we know it or like it or not. Okay. So we gotta start observing that. Here's the internal dialogue, which reveals what? The external dialogue and the decisions that we're making, right? So we just got to be aware of that inner self-talk. And oh my goodness, you've seen it right here, right? On these calls, we've seen people stop themselves and you know what? That was the past. Oh, spectacular. Yeah. Anyway, I have no doubt about you, Leslie. No doubt. I know who you are. Yeah, you can do this.
Thanks, John.
Right. Yeah, we are 7 minutes till the top of the hour. We have a few people with their hands up. Couple of things, and then we're going to get to RSHM iPhone, and then Fred, and then Denise. So RSHM, stand by. Couple questions in the chat. So Denise, you don't have an accountability rep because you're not new here. Okay, that's something that was recently put in place for the influx of new members to help them. You've been here for a little bit, and so you didn't participate in that process. You got a direct line to me anyway, Denise. So you're all good with that. The other question here, Michelle, what did you mean by distinguishing between barriers and distractions? I thought a distraction was within the category of a barrier, only if you give it attention. Now you're participating, Michelle. So that's what I mean by here's a distraction. Look at me, right? Which never ends. This is the number one thing that costs corporations so much money is distracted employees, right? So if we can disregard and not spend energy or attention on the distractions, but then correctly, address and put full attention on actual barriers, which we can now solve problems, right? Now we're talking. The difference between distractions and barriers is the distinction that I'm talking about in terms of one of the characteristics of genius, according to people who study such things. Michelle, I hope that helps. Let's go to, where did my friend with his hand up go? Was it RSHM iPhone? Who was that? I'm going to call you whatever you put in your Zoom account. Hello, Mr. or Mrs. iPhone. Okay, so maybe we'll come back to them. It looks like they vanished. Poof, they're gone. I hope I didn't offend them by calling them whatever they wanted to call themselves. Fred, you're up. Let's go to Fred and then Denise and then maybe RSHM. Hey, Fred.
Hey, John, how are you doing?
I'm awesome, brother. Thank you.
I just wanted to reiterate what some of the other folks have said. I too have tried a variety of things. Most of the self-help coaches I've listened to sound more like used car salesmen, and they're trying to sell a product as opposed to actually help anybody learn anything or be anything. And the first time I heard you speak, it was so different, so refreshing. I was on the welcome call that I decided to start paying attention to what you were saying, because normally I just tune them out as if there were just, so much noise in the background. So I just wanted to thank you for being a real person and in the realness of, speaking to at least my psyche, as opposed to just, trying to sell a product. So anyway.
Huge, Fred. Thank you. Wow. Sometimes I don't know what effect I'm going to have, and who does, right? I mean, I've had people come to me like 20 years later and say, you know what, John, that one thing you said on that conference call changed my life. I'm like, well, remind me what it was. I have no idea what I'm going to say until I hear it. So, so we do have an effect, and that's what we were talking about earlier, Fred. That there's a bigger game afoot, right? What effect will you have as you pick yourself up and make something of yourself, your business, etc. Right? Wow. Right. You just inspired that next generation who you may not even know are looking right now. You have kids, grandkids, or, I mean, what example are we setting? Anyway, I
all of the above.
There you go. Right. So if not you, then who? Right. The buck stops here. Let's get it done. Thank you, Fred. That's Fred, everyone. He's awesome. Good times. All right. So I think we'll wrap up with Denise, unless RSHM, was that the letters, reappears. Denise, you've got the floor.
Yeah, I just wanted to say kind of to Leslie, but everyone. Leslie, remember in the Miracle Morning book, okay, he said this. He said, it doesn't matter how much sleep you get. So if Leslie, you want to stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning watching your videos, all you have to do, remember he said that when I go to sleep at night, if I have a late night and I don't get to sleep until 12 o'clock in the morning, all I have to do is say to myself, oh, I'm just going to get 4 hours of sleep. And that's great, because all I need is 4 hours of sleep. And then you will wake refreshed after 4 hours of sleep and you will be just fine. And I have to attest, that is absolutely true, because ever since I read the book, I have been doing that, because I have really bad sleep problems. And so sometimes I don't get to sleep until 2 or 3 in the morning. And I just say to myself, you know what? 3 hours of sleep for me is fabulous and great. And I'll fall asleep. I'll wake up at 6:37 and I'm fine. So you just have to
love
be
that.
positive about the amount of sleep that you're getting, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, thank you for that. I agree. Yeah, I love to sleep, and I tend to oversleep if I can, so you're so right. Yeah, that'll help a lot. I'm going to do that at night.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And still paint until midnight.
Good stuff. All right, my friends, I'll just give you a little bit of trivia here. Something Thomas Edison, arguably the greatest inventor in history, something he would do in his New Jersey laboratory where he was inventing stuff. He would take little naps. He would be working on a project. He would get tired and he would sleep in his chair with a metal pan on his lap. And he would sleep. And then when the metal pan fell and hit the floor and made a big noise, it was time to get back to work. Interesting method. I try it, not try it, I don't know. But anyway, that's what he did. All right, you guys, let's see here. Clara and Alana and Julia, everybody good? Anybody got anything else? We all good? Okay, did RSM ever come back? I do not see you. Okay, well, let's wrap up with that then. We're at the top of the hour. I will see you all back here tomorrow, right? So make it an awesome day. If you're going through Accelerator, go through the Accelerator, get with your accountability rep. And some of you I'm meeting with today on business launch session. So I'm very excited about that. I'll see you guys there. In the meantime, have an awesome one. All right, we'll see you here tomorrow.
Thank you, you too.